stream crashing issue. And we are back at the end of short one-shot qualifying for the main race. Alright. My game crashed, which meant that the stream crashed. Oof, and there we have it. One-shot qualifying for the main race means that Yuri is on pole position, followed by the steps. Paddy able to put together a lap, which puts him P3, so hopefully going to be challenging for the top positions in the main race and a solid haul of points. Kaka seems to be struggling around this track and it's P6 at the moment, but Naismith, solid performance from him, puts himself P4 as well. Kept the slice, who is a Division 2 driver and is reserving tonight. But any surprises? Ulrich, she seems to have no setup apparently, but Tonga actually out towards the bottom of the grid. Not going to be ideal. Oh, and apparently I'm driving. Apparently I'm driving. I need to... As I've told Paddy to... I've told Paddy to report Yuri for going AI on the straight. But here we go. I'm in the Aston Martin. Teammates once again. Bear with me, just trying to tell everyone that the stream is back online. Race comms. I don't know why it keeps doing this. This game is absolute trash. Trash. As we see drivers.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip on that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
So Tongana started from the back of the grid. See what he can do. This is one of my favorite tracks, so it's a shame that I won't be racing tonight. And yeah, racing commentator, bro. Imagine that. I would love to try. I hope I haven't done anything to affect him. What is going on? Racing line is disgusting, bro. I'm not a pro like you. I'm a racing line merchant, but hopefully when I get a wheel. Yeah, disqualify myself. Oh no, there we go. Here we go. Getting ready. Shut up. There we go. Retired from the session on lap 1. As we can see, the drivers are hurling their way down into turn 1. We see the steps 1/10 behind, followed by Paddy, Naismith, all within a couple of tenths of each other. There we go. Get this on. Get this on. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to see tires. Everyone on the medium tire, apart from one driver, Divine, who's on the hards. Gaps have kind of equaled out at the moment. There seems to be a lot of mayhem going on back here. Look at that. Almost 2 or 3 wide. And you see Alivriades trying to make a move on Waza, who's up into P6. So fantastic showing from Waza. Seems to have the pace in qualifying, but the race is perhaps where he seems to struggle. And Kaka has made a move on Naismith at the moment, but he does have a little bit of work to do to try and close up the back of Paddy. You do not want to be outside of the DRS on this track, that is for sure. And we see a move from Alivriades. Cutthroat makes a move on his teammate. Seems to be struggling all over the place. Although Richie does, unfortunately, no setup for him. Tongina and Sparrow, they're both Red Bulls going side by side. Ooh, Tonga seems to be all over the place. And Yuri has already broken DRS, the 1 second gap that he needs to the car behind. Paddy pulling out the slipstream. Knows he's got plenty of fighting left to do. You can see Cutthroat trying to make a move on Kev the Slice. Kev the Slice is a handy customer. He is quick driver. Game sound is kind of loud. Okay, give me a second. Audio settings. Shouldn't be too bad. I know we put it down. Master volume. Put it to 2. Let's go for that. How is that? Is that a little bit better? Let me know. Naismith already dropping off of Kaka now, so 1.6 seconds behind. But the top 3, better my king, you're welcome, you're welcome. But we do have now the top 4, sorry. Or sorry, P2 to P4 within DRS range of each other. Yuri is going to be absolutely checking out of this race. Hopefully we can see a couple of safety cars to kind of bring the battle a little bit more towards him, as we see Cutthroat trying to make a switchback on the cars ahead. Who's going to get the benefit of DRS? Kev the Slice now has the DRS. Who's missing out on the DRS? Olo Richie has the DRS. Was there any driver that missed out on the DRS? Doesn't seem like it. There we go. Alivriades was the one to miss out, and side by side, Nerdy wins Cutthroat. The 2 Haas's now. Are we going to see? Yep, Olo Richie backing out at the moment. Oh dear, we saw that firsthand. Olo Richie trying a bit of a switch back, and is he? Yep, he is left enough room. Oh my goodness, who is that? Tongina. That is not a clean move. But Waza already picking up a time penalty. 3 laps into the race. 3 lap penalty for track limits warnings. Bumper Red Bull. Yep, Tongina. Tongina has been decent with his racecraft this year. I mean, been better for the most part. And Olo Richie, 3 seconds, unfortunately for him, down towards the back of the pack. And are we going to see a move from the steps on Paddy into turn 1, side by side? Nice show of respect between the 2. A little bit of a squeeze on the exit, but now we've got Kaka setting up a move on Paddy, who is not got the DRS at the moment. Of course, he was in P2 at the start of the straight, now gone down to P4. So that's how it works around this track with the double dose of DRS. One car can get passed into turn 1, and usually the second car gets passed into turn 5. Cutthroat and DRL Naismith having a little bit of a battle. Look at that train behind. You've got Tongina down to Tranquiloson, all within a second of each other. Not a second of each other, but yeah, a second of each other. That's right. So they will benefit from the DRS, and Tongina's pushing in order to try and secure the DRS off the back of Naismith now. Might have to extend at the moment when he's a good exit here. Oh, lost the car slightly, but does have the DRS, and Olorichi, I hate to say it, won't have the DRS. Or will he? A little bit of lag. We love a little bit of lag, and Kaka making a nice move on Paddy now, who's not going to be able to get past into turn 1. But again, like I said, are we going to see into turn 4? Oh, nope. Paddy did not have the best of exits there. But he's happy to sit behind at the moment in P4. Still plenty of race to go. Yuri has a 3.7 second gap at the moment. So how much do you think Yuri is going to win by, Lopo? How much do you think, at the end of the race, Yuri is going to be winning this race by? Barring any safety cars, of course. So you kept the slice, potentially looking for a move now on his teammate Marios. Teammate for tonight anyways. 23 seconds. Perfect. I'm gonna say 20. I'm gonna say 20 second gap at the end of this race. And look at this train. This is fantastic racing. I love to see a not sure what's going on here. Some dodgy dealings. We have a DRS train all the way from Waza in P7 all the way down to Tranquiloson, who's trying to make a move and trying to work his way up the order. Kev the Slice is using all of his ERS as well to defend, and he has the speed on the straight. Tranquiloson opts to fight another day, and Ularichi making a move on Tongina now up into P8, and ooh, lost the car slightly there. Could be under threat from the car behind, and we see Paddy and the Steps fighting once again. Kaka is nearly up the road, nearly by a second. Decided not to use any ERS. He is 1 second ahead at the moment. Paddy needs to put in a little bit of work to be able to close in, and he will not benefit from the DRS as well. Here we go, using a bit of his ERS now. But are we going to see the Steps and Paddy work together? Paddy needs to let him go into turn 1 so that they can... Oh, Paddy might not need it. Paddy has got it. Paddy has got the DRS, so big sector 3 there from Paddy in order to keep himself in the running. Oh, as we see yellow flags, and I believe that was Tongina. Yes, it was Tongina, who is not having the best evening tonight. Has he got any damage? I presume not, otherwise he would have pitted. No. Oh, Naismith speeding in the pit lane, 10 seconds, and he's retired in the pits. Not happy with his race tonight. Marios has also left the session mid-race. Invites, I'm going to... Have I got him as a friend? Marios. I do not have Marios, unfortunately. So I'm not able to send him, but he's going to be losing so much time now. And once again, Paddy has a little bit of work to do. Oh, as Kaka's picked up a time penalty for multiple track limits warnings, but he has got that 1.2 second gap. Paddy has to do a lot of work at the moment to try and close back up, and Waza also picking up another penalty as well. So there you have it. Those are the time penalties. Why is it saying you're online? Are you not online? Oh, Olorichi and kept the slides going side by side. Hopefully some respectful racing between the two. Side by side, I think. Yes, they are. Hopefully no wheel banging, but Olorichi is able to stay in front for the moment. And is he going to be looking at a move on Waza into turn 1? Nope, very smart from him. Stay behind, get in front after the end of this corner, sets the car up decently, but is going to be a bit too far behind, I believe. Oh no, he's got hot lap. He's got plenty of overspeed on the car. Nope. Opts to go for the reserved option. Oh, and Waza had a little bit of a moment there. I'm not home. You're going to see a movie. Oh dear. Someone. I guess you left your. I guess you left your PlayStation on, or something. But Kaka is checking out now, so the steps needs to get a move on if he wants to make up some more points. I mean, Kaka we saw did not have the best sprint race there, and Cutthroat and Divine picking up time penalties for kept the slice, and Waza seemed to have had a little bit of a collision there. Didn't quite catch it, unfortunately. And as we see Sparrow diving into the stadium section, and yep, I was going to say Waza has a little bit of front wing damage, or actually quite a severe amount of front wing damage, and now the steps has made his move past Paddy. He's got a little bit of work to do, 7/10 to close up to the back of Kaka. He does have more ERS though, so about 20-30% more ERS, and Waza has retired in the pits, so 2 retirements, excluding myself of course, and Marios has just left the race unfortunately, and he's going to be dropping down to the last position very, very soon indeed. This is not efficient running from these two cars, unfortunately. They need to work together in order to close back up to Kaka. But Kaka is doing his job very nicely indeed. He does of course have that time penalty to contend with, but if these two DRS swap, they might be able to close in a lap by lap and get back onto the back of Kaka, as we see Paddy making the move into turn 1. There we go, with the DRS. And now he's going to have some serious pace to try and close back up. Oh, as we see, I was going to say into turn 1 there is a stricken kick Sauber of Waza, who retired from the session in the pits. It's going to just be interesting to see if anyone unfortunately had any incidents with that car, as we've seen in the past. So 2 seconds the gap between Kaka and Paddy. Paddy seems to be fairly comfortable at the moment, but comfortable is not what you need. I mean, the steps seem to have struggled through that section there. Oof. Oh, yellow flags once again. Is that Marios and Divine Eye? Unfortunately, another incident for Divine Eye. What happened there? The steps, there we go, does have the DRS. Big gap between the two houses here, 7 seconds, so Ola Ritchie is struggling, I think, behind the McLaren of Tranquiloso. Just needs to get the move done. Just get the move done, get into some free air, and see what you can do. As we see him make the move into turn 1. But he needs to really kind of get out of this McLaren, out of the vicinity of this McLaren, as we see Alvarez and Cutthroat now side by side. Cutthroat trying the switch back, doesn't quite get the traction on the exit of the corner to fight back. Tranquiloso still within the 1 second of the car ahead. So Kaka could be, towards the end of this race, driving away with this one. Well, not driving away with this one, driving away with P2, unless these two work together. Perhaps consider an undercut. I think I pit, last time around, I think I pit around lap 18 or 20, I want to say. I think it was a little bit sooner. I think it was maybe 16, 17 that I pit from mediums onto the hards. And I worked together with Yuri last time around in order to build a gap to the cars behind. And that's what you really need to be doing with the DRS zones that you've got available to you. Alabriada's got a really good drive on the exit of that corner. Does not have the DRS though. Cutthroat has the DRS, so won't be close enough, unfortunately, to make a move. Oof. Unsettle a little bit into that corner there. Steps and Paddy settling in together. I guess they're kind of happy to fight for a P3 at the moment. Either going to stop. Yeah, 13 to 19. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I pit lap 16, 17 last time around. I don't think you were driving in that race last season. I think I finished P2, and oh, look at that. The steps, the rear end on that car wanted to, funny enough, step out on the throttle there. And he's having to put in a little bit of work to try and close back in to Paddy now, down to turn 1, back within 4.5 tenths or so, and Alabriadis has managed to close back up to Cutthroat. So these two fighting very, very, well, quite a lot actually. Cutthroat, of course, has that 3-second time penalty to contend with, and Tongana and Kev the Slice fighting as well. Kev the Slice trying to set up a switchback. It's going to have a lovely opportunity here, but of course Tonga will benefit from the DRS. Yes, he does, and he is incredibly low on battery. Kev the Slices might be an opportunity for him. He gives it a little bit of a fake. Puts Tongana off his line ever so slightly. And the Red Bull Sparrow also in this fight as well. When are we going to see the first stops? I don't think anyone has pit yet. No, I don't think we have. No one has pit, so everyone still on their tires from the start of the Grand Prix. Kev the Slice, Tonga. Oh. Kev the Slice gives him the DRS, playing DRS games, and he picks up a time limit penalty, so that is not smart at all, whatsoever. Tonga is pulling out of, or trying to not give Kev the Slice any slipstream, but at the moment he doesn't need to worry about that. Oh, look at the top speed that Kev the Slice has, although Tongana is recharging. Oh, I hope this is going to be... wow. Yeah. No comment. Sparrow, is he going to let his teammate by? Oh, Sparrow having to lift there, and he might be the quicker driver at this moment in time. Tongana seems to be a little bit all over the place. Might be hampering his progress, but obviously you don't want to be pitting the same lap as your teammate. He's got to think of something here. Is he going to go for the undercut? Perhaps the overcut? One of the two has to pit fairly soon, I'd say, because having that clean air is absolutely king unless you pit with someone and DRS swap. And we see our first pit stop of the race. The steps coming in. So trying to make that undercut work. The gap is about 3 seconds, so I'd say about 3.3 it was from the steps to Kaka. So Kaka might have to respond here and pit this lap if he is to kind of try and cover off the undercut from the steps here. The steps, is he going to come out in free air? No, he's not. Oh my goodness. He's got two Red Bulls behind who are paddling into turn 1. And it's the steps. Oh, it's the steps is absolutely killing it with losing some time here. He's not going to be happy, and now he's going to be stuck through sectors 2 and 3 behind Tonga, who's going to be much, much slower and outbrakes himself. He's got to kind of keep his head here as much as possible. He's going to have so much more grip around these corners. You can see Tongana struggling, and he gets past him. So Tongana not making that hard for the steps. Yeah, absolutely. I think Kaka can kind of stay behind for another another one lap. He wants to have the fresher tires, that is for sure. But Tranquiloso unable to close back up to Olo Ritchie now as well, and Galavriades 10 seconds for in. Oh, that is ruined his race. That is absolutely ruined his race. And Paddy has responded to the undercut of the steps, and let's see where the steps comes out now. Is he going to come out ahead of Paddy? That is the question. I'd imagine so. Just ahead of Paddy. So the one lap, fresher tires. Holland has joined. Holland, the race is halfway done, mate. The race is halfway done. You see plenty of these back markers now coming in for their pit stops. Tongana, Olo Ritchie. So why this year's 10 seconds? Yeah, it's mind-blowing, really. 10 seconds is a race-ruining penalty. It should be 5 seconds, I would say. Half that. Half the 10 seconds that it is at the moment. There we go. We're seeing Yuri into the pits now. And he's got a 30-second gap to Kaka behind. Of course, with the pit stop, should come down to about 20-odd seconds. Sorry, with about 8 seconds or so. But we shall see. Here we go. Yuri rounding. Kaka rounding the final corner now, and Yuri is already back out onto the track, the main part of the track. So there we go. Let's see where the gap comes down to. It's about 8.4 seconds. Sparrow now coming into the pits. Paddy's got a 1.4 second gap, so oof. Needs some work to try and close into the DRS of the steps ahead. I mean, but he's got a couple of laps to kind of get his tires into their working window, whilst the steps' tires are going to be obviously a little bit warmer due to pitting a lap earlier. So Rios, Divine on those 16-lap old tires at the moment, hoping, praying for a safety car. Wanting to go as long as possible, kind of working together at the moment if they can. Hope they're DRS swapping. But there we go, back on board with Alavriades on the back of Cutthroat. Alavriades, of course, has that time penalty to contend with as well. 10 seconds for what? He was having such a good race. He was up into P4. And then the 10 seconds has absolutely killed him. At the moment, it'll drop him down a couple of positions. Potentially one, maybe two. As Marios comes into the pits now. Divine continues on. And Kev the Slice now picks up another time penalty. So not having the easiest of nights. And ooh, it's Olo Ritchie. Fast slap the race. Respect, my friend. Big respect there. Closing in. Kev the Slice. So on track at the moment. Ooh, side by sides. Olo Ritchie gets the move done. Blocks off Kev the Slice very nicely indeed. And sticks it into hot lap. So able to kind of cruise away and stay ahead for the remainder of this lap, I would say. Divine now picks up another time penalty. That's 9 seconds for Divine, unfortunately. It is a very tricky track indeed to keep within track limits. It is clean tonight. It is fairly clean tonight, I have to say that for sure. Paddy's trying to do everything he can to close in to the steps, who has much more ERS. And Paddy, from what I've seen in the last few weeks of racing with him, or watching him race, he does not charge his ERS. He does not put his battery into none through the slow corners. So usually for the most of the race, he tends to be low on battery. So maybe I need to message him and say, listen, you need to assign some buttons for having your ERS charged. As you can see, he's still in medium even through these slow corners. Not using the full battery, I guess, modes that you're able to have available to you. And Yuri picks up the time penalty. Not that it's going to affect him at the moment, as he is nearly 10 seconds out in front. But who knows? Maybe a few more of those, and Kaka could be in a shout of a race win. The gap between the steps and Kaka now is at hovering about, yeah, there we go, just about 2.93 seconds. Of course, Kaka has that time penalty at the moment and wants to kind of claw back as many points as possible on the steps, and Paddy is kind of closing in. He's losing deployment down the straight now due to his battery being at about 17%. Under 20% is when you start to lose a little bit of performance in a straight line. So we see Tongina now on to the back of Kevlar Slice, 1/10 between the two, and Kevlar Slice is in hot lap mode. He's not deploying, and Olorichi is not fighting this one. Sticks into hot lap and allows Kevlar Slice to go past. I'm going to see a move from Tonga, perhaps. Nope. Keeps it in medium mode at the moment. Haaland's left the session. So unfortunately, he was not home in time to race and perhaps give Yuri a challenge, but it would have been a good race to watch, that is for sure. Yuri puts in another fastest lap of the race, the 16.420. We have it, and Divine is finally into the pits. Let's get off of those old hard tires. Would it kick both? I would hope so. I would hope so, but I would cook all of you guys because this is one of my favorite tracks. That's all I will say. Yeah, you'd all be in my dust. That is for certain. Now, there seems to have been an Alvarez has actually built a bit of a gap due to just kind of sitting in the DRS from Cuthbert, the car ahead. So at the moment, he will still secure himself a P6 on track, unless of course there is a late safety car. And I think a safety car would absolutely spice this race up, because I am starting to lose my voice. And oh, as we see, who's that Tranquilos on? Unfortunately, he seems to have spun on the curb in the stadium section. Those curbs are... Slice and Tonga lets him go, and Kevlar Slice tries to contend. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Bit of a late send from Kevlar Slice there, and not a move to be made. I mean, the move was on, kind of, but Olorichi was absolutely entitled to defend his position there. Tonga now onto the back of Olorichi. Kevlar Slice has a little bit of work to do, and Yuri sets another fastest lap of the race, the 16.2. Paddy's dropped off from the steps as well. Gap was sitting at about 1.2 seconds, but now up to about 2 or 1.92 seconds. And Tonga passed. Oh my goodness, why are you playing DRS games here? This is absolutely mental. You guys are not F1 esports drivers on the last lap of the race for the championship. Why do you need to be playing DRS games now? It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. You're losing so much time doing this. And Tongana has the advantage on the car behind, or in front. It was behind as well. Ulrich has a time penalty. You do not. Why are you giving him the DRS? Makes no sense to me. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Back to the racing. And we'll see what are the big battles on track at the moment. There's not really much going on. So we're just going to stick on this battle. Kevin Slice is back within the DRS of Ulrich due to them fighting so much, unfortunately. Ulrich does have the DRS. And Tongana is low. Kevin Slice will get past, as Ulrich will not benefit from the DRS now. We'll sleep it on this camera for a little bit. Ulrich has used a lot of his ERS to try and stay ahead, and he has managed to do so. Oh, Alaviadis, look at this. It's nuts. Having... Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, let's get off of that camera. Let's get off of that. That's scary. Despite not having much practice, or seems to be driving pretty smooth as Ulrich. Not having a setup, should I say. I'm not quite sure with what setup he's driving at the moment. As we see yellow flags and Kevin Slice is DNF'd, and the safety car, yes! Safety car, yes! Spices up this race. Thank you so much, Kevin Slice. I mean, I hope he didn't do that on purpose. That's what I will say. I don't think he did, because it seems to have lost the car. We're going to see the car? No, the car has disappeared already. Oh. The car has disappeared already. But we have a safety car. I think I was a bit too excited for that safety car. But we have huge gaps on track. It's only going to benefit us to see some more racing. And Alaviadis will be able to get rid of his 10-second penalty as well. He deserves a solid finish tonight. And everyone should pit. Yuri comes in. Kaka potentially could be coming in. But let's see the tires now. Yuri's going to stick on a set of mediums. I'd imagine Kaka will do the same. Please don't go soft, Kaka. You hope you learned from your decision in the sprint race. Let's see what tires he sticks on. The penalties now are going... Oh, the step stays out. The step stays out. Curious decision. I'm not sure that is the right one. That is definitely not the right one. Paddy also in the pits on some mediums. Alaviadis into the pits. Gets rid of his time penalty. Tongana and Ulrich have already pit because they were quite that far behind. Alaviadis, yeah, there we go. Should be able to get out ahead of ahead of Tongana. Yes, he. Oh, he's stuck on the softs. He needs a couple laps more behind the safety car, which he might get because the gaps are so huge. And Rios onto the hards. I'm not too sure what he's done there. Oh dear. The steps. That is not what you want to be doing. Stayed out on the hard tires. To be fair, there's lots of drivers with penalties around them, so he's hoping to perhaps stay within the DRS of the cars around him, but those mediums are going to be so much quicker in those first few laps. He could quite easily drop out of the DRS. And how many laps of safety car are we going to see? I'd imagine it's going to be a good couple of laps before we see the whole pack close up. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break, grab a drink of water because I'm starting to feel my voice going. Been doing a lot of talking. Yeah, I will be right back. We are back, and we are going to have one more lap on the safety car. One more lap. So penalties. Let's see what we've got at the moment. So Yuri, of course, with 3 seconds. He is on some fresh medium. So I mean, with the car of the steps behind on those old hards, I'd imagine he's going to be able to build a little bit of a gap, and Yuri will once again sail off into the distance unless Kaka can somehow get past the steps into turn 1. But yeah, I'd imagine Yuri's going to be absolutely flying. And Paddy just doesn't have a button assigned for it to flick his ERS into medium. I'm going to tell him after this race. He needs to be doing that. Because he's got some pace. If he can recharge his battery, might be challenging a little bit more often with the top guys. Seeing all the drivers trying to burn off as much fuel as possible. Rios trying to do a little bit of warming his tires by going on the brakes there. I'm not sure that works that much this game, unfortunately. Not like it did last game. We can do a little bit of brake dragging and effectively warm up the insides of the tires on a formation or outlap during qualifying. And we should see the safety car coming in at the end of this lap. No, yeah, it doesn't work. I didn't think so. This year is I think you need to put your brake bias like to 70 or something like that, and then it does work a little bit, but not to the extent that it worked last year, of course. Here we go, as we see Yuri backing the pack up now. He's not going a huge amount too slowly, so he's not backing the pack up a huge amount, but the steps is got a bit of a gap. I was going to say it was a 1.5 seconds, and there we go. Yuri's already off. And you can see the steps has some cold tires. AI mode, yeah, there you go. That's why it needs to go AI mode, which means is obviously illegal in this league. And a very, very good getaway from Yuri. 6/10 are closing in now, so the steps has absolutely depleted all of his ERS down to 22% to try and catch up to Yuri. And Kaka has got a little bit of work to do. He does have a bunch more ERS though, so that is going to be very telling. And let's see how much Yuri gains through these corners. Oh, as we see Cutthroat trying to make a move on Paddy. Went for a bit of a send perhaps, going around the outside. No, Alavriadis sticking there as well. But plenty of drivers with penalties, of course, and we see Yuri, the gap all the way up to 1.4 already, so the steps is going to be incredibly vulnerable to the cars around him, and there is a big DRS train from P2 down to P7 at the moment, and Ulrich could get within that 1 second of the car ahead as well, so I'd imagine we see the steps finish a little bit further down than he would have liked, and Ulrich picks up another time penalty, unfortunately. That's 6 seconds for him now, and Kaka had a fantastic run out of that corner. Paddy needs to try and get past as well. He's depleting all of his ERS. Cutthroat is in hot lap, so he's going to be getting past Paddy here down into turn 1. He is ahead, leaves a bit of space. Paddy just misuse of the ERS once again, and now he's not going to have anything to fight with on the exit of this corner now. And Kaka is closing in to the back of Yuri. He is within the 1 second that he needs, and Cutthroat now onto the back of the steps. 1 second already the gap between the steps and Kaka. This was a terrible decision from the steps not to pit. He's going to be finishing way down the order, unfortunately. But Kaka is within the DRS of Yuri. He just needs to stay within the DRS for this section here. Down this main straight, able to recharge his ERS just a little bit. Hello, Holland. How is it going? Oh, yellow flags, and we see Divine Eye in the wall, should I say, unfortunately for him. As we see Kaka saying the fastest lap of the race. He is within the DRS of Yuri, both with time penalties, of course, so we wanted to really work together. DRS swapping as much as they can. I'm going to see the steps under threat, gets passed twice down in turn 1. Oh, and Alavriadis potentially could be looking at a move now on the steps, who is having a torrid time of it now. Last during the stream, Yuri had a 9 second gap to Kaka. Yeah, so we had a safety car on lap 25, which threw the cat amongst the pigeons really, and it was exactly what we needed for this race, because the race was getting a little bit stale. Ooh, Kaka needs to try and stay within DRS. Not going to have it for this straight here. But Paddy and Cutthroat could work together here. Kaka is on an island by himself, so they're able to close in a little bit more. But at the moment, Paddy looks to be securing potentially a P3 or P2 finish. And yeah, unfortunately, Yuri has been on a different planet tonight. And then imagine he's going to be building that 3 second gap that he needs. Oh, as we see yellow flags, that's Tranquiloson, who had a little bit of a moment around the final corner, and Alavriadis looks to move past the steps now. The steps really, oh my goodness, could be losing another position here. Perfect view here. Yeah, please do show him next week. Please do show him. We can't allow Yuri to be we can't allow Yuri to be too confident. That's when he's at his most dangerous, and steps breaks extremely late there. Holds off the position from Ulrich for the moment, as both have similar levels of ERS at the moment. And Kaka seems to be clawing back a 10th here or there in certain corners, but I believe his setup is more aligned for the straight line speed. And Paddy just needs to kind of chill at the moment, just behind Cutthroat, not go for any moves potentially. As we see Sparrow now and Marios having a little fight through the stadium section as well, and the steps seems to be struggling a little bit more. Although Richie still has that 6 second penalty to deal with, of course, but Tongida now moves up into P5, and Paddy now moves into P3. So he wants to be able to have the fresh air, the clean air, in order to try and close that gap to Kaka. The gap is at 2.3 seconds. As it stands at the moment, Paddy is securing himself a P2 finish. Is it Baku next week? Oh my goodness. It's actually Baku next week. Oh, that's going to be absolute chaos. Yeah, no, that's going to be terrible next week. I hate to say it. The Steps now is able to kind of recharge his battery a little bit. We saw him down about 10-20% at one point. We're going to see him make a move here on Alvarez. Alvarez still on those soft tires, but they seem to be going off at the moment. Alvarez should have the benefit of DRS, but Steps taking the wider line, trying to minimize the gap, and you can see Alvarez low on the ERS. Steps has plenty to play with at the moment, and this will be an easy move. 1-2 drivers getting past potentially. Is that Ulrich making a move? Yes, it is. Ulrich up into P7. All right, see you, Lobo. Thank you for coming by, man. Appreciate you. Enjoy the movie. As we see a little bit of a lag. And Paddy's not quite got the pace, losing a little bit of time to Kaka now, but he is still within 3 seconds that he needs. Come on, Paddy, you can do it. You can do it, my friend. So we can see one big DRS train at the moment from P4 down to P8. And with plenty of drivers in that train, 3 of the drivers in that train with time penalties, Alvarez and the Steps could be going up a couple of positions. So Steps, although not ideal for him in this race, could still come out with a decent haul of points come the end of this race. Cutthroat does have the DRS on the car ahead of Tonga, and Paddy's actually dropped outside the 3 seconds that he needs at the moment. Both pushing so hard, and another 3-second time penalty for Divine, unfortunately. As we're seeing Paddy really trying to do everything he can, but the time is just going up and up and up. Every corner, Kaka just seems to be a little bit more dialed in than Paddy. Let's hope that Paddy is able to keep it clean, not get any track limits warnings or penalties from here to the end of the race. Just one more lap to go, as we're seeing Yuri come through the stadium section for the second last time, and Cutthroat now picks up another time penalty. That's 9 seconds for him, nearly losing the car. A little bit of a tank slapper as well. Oh, and Rishi is, or the Steps actually, just doesn't have the traction that he's looking for. Yeah, Paddy's 3.4 seconds away. He is closing in very rapidly on Tonga, who is completely out of ERS, down to about 5% there for a second. Yeah, Cutthroat needs to try and stay ahead a little bit if he can, to try and maximize the time between him and the cars behind. But with that 9 seconds, he's going to be dropping down all the way to P11, I think. Unfortunately for him, because he has showed some flashes throughout this race of, having the pace. He's been qualifying as well. He seems to be in a decent spot there, but go on board with Yuri as he rounds the final couple of corners, and the Steps, oh no, picks up a time penalty on the last lap, and he will be going up 1 position, I believe. So P5 finish for the Steps. As we come around the final corner, Yuri has won the race tonight here in Mexico, followed by Kaka is able to keep his P2. Fantastic drive from him after a not so optimal sprint race. Tonga with a P4 finish as well. The Steps P5, so not terrible. but considering where he was before the safety car, he's not going to be too happy about that one. Alvarez with a solid P6 finish. He definitely had a very good race tonight. Rios picks up some solid points as well, P7. So some solid points for the McLaren boys in P6 and P8. Olo Ritchie, without a setup, able to finish himself in P9. Sparrow P10, Cutthroat down in P11, unfortunately, with those time penalties. Followed by Jazz and Divine, who is coming around the last corner now to conclude our weekend here in Mexico. Big congratulations once again to Yuri. Followed by Kaka in P2 and Paddy in P3. There we have it. My voice is absolutely gone. But thank you so much to everyone for tuning in tonight. If you did, everyone who watches the stream back, I hope you enjoy it. But Kako was actually able to pick up the fastest lap of the race, so very, very solid from him indeed. So big congratulations to our podium tonight, Yuri, Kaka, and Paddy. And I'm looking forward. Well, I'm not looking forward to Baku next week because I know it's going to be absolutely mayhem. But nonetheless, appreciate everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I will catch you all next week.